With so many football products to choose from, you often find yourself wondering, which should I buy and which ones should I skip?
We offer you the ultimate guide which will benefit you straight away in your own journey of collecting our beloved football cards.
So with my first product of the board, Mosaic, you can argue, but I feel like Mosaic is one of the best products in the 2021 season. It's relatively cheap. The cards look amazing. I especially love the no choice huddle. The circles, yeah, they just look fantastic. White sparkles, one of my favorite. There's just nothing not to love.
No, and they're pretty desired by collectors. I mean, if you look at the Peacock in the choice boxes, Nebulas, awesome looking product. The complete opposite of awesome looking product is Rookies and Stars, which is hot trash. It looks and feels just awful. There are no chasers. The product is relatively expensive. You can only purchase hobby boxes and hobby hybrid. I guess just stay away of that product.
Yeah,
it's horrible and not desired.
No, I feel you. This is not a good product. Don't spend your money on Rookie and Stars. So next one on the list, I'm gonna put Elite in Pour. It's not great. It's one of the first products in the year with Pro Unis, I believe. They're the Pen Pals, yeah, on card auto. But the cards just don't look that nice. Some of them are flashy. I have to admit, especially this year, they didn't look that bad. That's why they didn't end up in the hot trash pile. They're still miles better than Rookies and Stars, but they deserve their own
their own tier. Maybe hell. Yeah. Maybe hell.
No, but don't chase Elite.
No, don't chase Elite. Alright, next up I go for XR, which is poor in my opinion. Although it's rather expensive, the cards don't look that awesome and not desired as well. You can get some patches in cards. We actually opened a hobby box and I was pretty flabbergasted. Yeah, but not that positive.
Disappointed is the better word, I think.
Disappointed, yeah. I was quite disappointed with XR. I mean, stay away again from XR.
Agreed. Another one for the bottom of the barrel is Illusions. This is just a hot trash. This is hot trash. There's no other words. I think together with Rookies and Stars, they could have a lower tier than this. Illusions. We watch many a pack opening. We opened a pack ourselves for a hobby box, and quality control is especially poor this year.
Or the acetate cards where the paint just fell off the card.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not going to say too many things about it. This is hot garbage. Stay away.
Stay away once again. I will choose one of my favorite products, which is Phoenix, and I place them in Awesome. Alright, Phoenix is an awesome looking product. You have the hobby box and the hobby hybrid. Venetian, Fuego, and I think Volcanic are the big chasers. I love the lasers, I love the colors, I love the inserts, I love everything about Phoenix, but they are not in the same tier as Prism and Select, I reckon. Not yet.
Yeah, so you're spoiling a little bit. I think Phoenix is making strides. I feel that if the centering had been a little bit better this year, because normally, or at least last year, they graded relatively well. This year, it feels like they're quite off-center, but the cards just look spectacular. So if you'd put them in Elite, I would have accepted that. But Awesome is a good tier to put
the white shimmer cards. All those cards are pretty off-center.
Yeah.
They don't grade that well.
No, and if you're buying a $300 pack for 4 cards, you want them to be centered well.
Most definitely.
All right, so I think in the same tier, I'm gonna put Spectra. Spectra is higher end. It's quite expensive. It was a hobby box set you back about $1,000 in the beginning. The cards do look really, really nice. They are beautiful cards. Oftentimes they grade quite well. I've seen some 10s for this year already. Yeah, they're just spectacular, but they're not yet an Elite tier.
Now you have only hobby boxes, which, as you mentioned, are quite expensive. 16 cards in total. And I love the colors. I love all the colors from Nebula to Gold. I mean, we love Spectra. Next up is clearly Donruss, which is a new kid on the block, and I will place him in...
Yeah, this one is tricky. I would put it in Poor. simply because they have downtowns, which is a lovely chase cards that people find desirable.
But the cards don't grade that well.
No.
They don't grade that well. It's rather expensive because you only can purchase hobby boxes. And the base cards, what are you gonna do with the base cards? I mean...
No, you're right. The base makes it horrible, but the reason I wouldn't put them in hot trash is because they do have the rated rookies, even though I wouldn't necessarily chase the acetate rated rookies myself. They still have rated rookies. They had the downtowns, which are big. Pretty much the only reason to put them in poor.
Yeah, maybe the Marvels, which is another awesome insert. Yeah. Night Movers maybe, but
were they
that's about
in
it.
Clearly Donruss as well? I know they were.
I guess,
okay.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and the next one on the list is Contenders, and I'm going to put it in good. This is quite a popular product in the community, although you either like it or you don't. We didn't like it at first, then we did, then we opened a box and we really didn't. The Contenders one, and we'll get to Optic Contenders later, the Contenders one feels rather cheap. The cards, it's really just cardboard, and I know that can be said for many of these products, but it was a little bit disappointing. I did like the cracked ice, even though we did pull one. It's not a really popular player, but that's nothing to do with this. But there's just one card that I really like, and other than that, it's just it's
so
good.
Oh man, I felt literally sick after opening the hobby box.
Yeah, but that was more for what we pulled and not necessarily the product itself.
Not many rookies. I think in the hobby box we only got 10 rookies.
So you want to put it in poor?
I want to put them in poor.
All right. So this is controversial, I guess. We're gonna put Contenders in poor.
All right. Yeah, feel better. All right, Certified. Certified was, to my surprise, one of the most fun openings I had due to its many inserts, but once again, they are not that much desired. They don't grade that well. I mean, I collect football cards and you don't see many certified PSA 10s whatsoever. So the inserts are pretty neat. I mean, I love them. You have the Dark Horses, the certified air and ground, scoring machines, but that's about it. And for that amount of money, because they only come in hobby boxes, I place them in poor.
Another one of the products that I really like that I'm going to put in awesome because I'm a little bit biased is Origins. I love the art on Origins. It's the product that I wanted most this year. I love the on-card autos. Unfortunately, if you look at our box opening, it was our worst. But still, the art is so beautiful, and the only reason that I didn't put it in the top tier is because it doesn't grade very well. It's very hard to find a PSA 10, so if you find a PSA 9 of an Origin card, that's usually very good. Yeah, so that's the only knock on Origin, but other than that, I really love the product.
Yeah, quite colorful. The art is amazing. I think I go for one of my favorite sets is Prism. Prism is a household name in the collecting scene, especially the snake skin, the color blast, the illumination. I mean, they come in retail, hobby boxes, no huddles. They grade pretty well. What's not to love about Prism? If I hit a manga this year, I will run naked to the streets.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna apologize to the neighbors, but I do hope that happens more so for the card than to see you naked. But yeah, the manga cards look amazing, and Prism they grade well. This is one of the most popular products, so we have to put that in elite tier. Speaking of popular products, I'm gonna put Absolute in the absolute hot trash pile.
Agree.
This year, the hobby box had thicker cards, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you're right.
Which means that technically it's even worse because not that you want to grade them, but if you did, they would get low marks. I didn't really like the art. It felt cheap overall. There was nothing to love really, so stay away from Absolute.
You're only after the Kaboom.
Yeah, that's fair. Is Kaboom the chaser enough to put it in poor?
No, it's hot trash.
Yeah, this year the Kaboom cards had a print line as well, so yeah, it was overall the quality control wasn't great this year, so I would stay away from Absolute unless you really want to try to get the Kaboom chasers, but we're not really the biggest fan, so that's why we put it in hot trash.
Yeah, agree. Next up, Donruss, and I think I put him in hot trash. No. I know it's controversial, I know, but hear me out. The base cards. feel and looks pretty cheap, right?
Yes.
And you got a lot of them. The Donruss cards, when you grade them, they're not that popular as Optic.
Fair enough.
The same goes for the Downtown and the Marvels. The Donruss Marvels are less cheaper than the Optic Marvels and the Optic Downtowns.
You mean cheaper?
Yeah, cheaper, cheaper. So that's why I put them in hot trash. We got loads of base cards, loads of them, when we opened the hobby box. And
I'm going to veto this one, and I'm going to throw you a bone. I'd put it in poor for the simple reason that this gives us a first look. You have to also consider when it comes out, and it just gives us a first look at the rated rookies, which are usually big chasers. Again, like we discussed before, it had the Downtown, the Night Movers, the Marvel cards, which are all really, in my opinion, beautiful case hits or chasers, if you will. I wouldn't put it in good because of the quality that you described, but I feel that putting it into the same tier as Rookies and Stars, Illusions and Absolute is a little bit strict.
It's a little bit strict, but I felt the same way after I opened the hobby box as Rookies and Stars, Illusions and Absolute.
All right, then in this case, agree to disagree. All right, then the most expensive product I think there is for NFL football, which is Flawless. I think it's the same for NBA. Flawless is the top tier. It's, I believe, 12K a hobby box. Is it 8 cards from the top of my head?
10. And you actually get a briefcase.
Yeah, you get a briefcase. It looks fantastic. It is, I think, in my opinion, the most beautiful product. But for many people, unless you're entering breaks and getting really lucky, this is well out of reach. We're not going to be able to open anything just because of these prices. But if you do hit, I don't know, a shield or a logo or anything of a popular player, I mean, you're in. You're in. It's fantastic. Yeah, you're golden.
All right, next up, Obsidian. Obsidian only comes in hobby boxes, and I place them in the good tier. The first product in the good tier, but I really like the electric edges, the color blasts. They provide 7 cards in each hobby box, and I like the colors. I like the rookies. I like very much, but not that awesome. You don't see a lot of graded Obsidian cards in a hobby scene. So that's why I'm not placing them in awesome.
Yeah, the color blasts are fantastic. One of my, I keep using that word a lot, so I don't want to use the word favorite too much, but it's a card that I really like. Yeah, I agree with good. I'm gonna put Playbook in poor. I was debating on putting it in hot trash, but it does have something unique in the form of all the, as Playbook kind of says, the booklet style cards.
Yeah.
I have seen some lovely hits. The Jamar Chase one in particular just looks pretty good. Again, these don't grade well. They aren't popular. They aren't desired. They're not too expensive, I believe.
No, but they also come in retail.
They also come in retail, so Playbook is nice enough, but it's not good enough to be good, and it's not bad enough to be hot trash. So I think they're doing well in poor.
Spot on. Next up, Playoff, and I place them in hot trash. What do you know? What do you know of the product Playoff?
Nothing. I'd like to keep it that way.
Yes, the same goes for me. I've literally no idea what to expect when I open a Playoff box. I don't even know what it costs.
I know it's cheap.
It's cheap. I mean, I watched several box openings, and I'm not that impressed. I mean,
yeah, there's nothing to chase. There's nothing to grade. There's overall there's just nothing. Stay away from Playoff.
Yeah.
All right. Another one for the good tier I think is Limited. I think Panini did take a step back this year by not guaranteeing the on-card auto.
That was a sucker punch.
Yeah, I mean, you know, on-card autos are, you know, what we're after as collectors and potential investors, and taking that out is kind of a low blow, especially seeing the price didn't go down from last year. Limited was one of the products when we started collecting that I really wanted to open. I just think it looks amazing. They're interesting cards. They're not quite Origins in the sense of the art, and they grade about as poorly.
Yeah.
So
You definitely should send it to BGS if you want a high number.
Yeah, they're thicker cards. I think they do look great. I do love the limited look, but you know, for reasons that I just mentioned, I'll put it in good.
All right. Another one that I will place in the good tier is Panini 1. High risk, high reward. That's all I'm saying. One card in a one touch, and that's it. I think it's $500.
Yes, $500
for the hobby box. I like the shields that are in it. If you hear the shield or Once Upon a Time, that's it.
Big return on investment.
That's a big return on investment. But you can also draw maybe Panay Sewell or something.
Yeah. So Panini 1 is like the break equivalent of hobby boxes. Like you spend a lot of money, but you could be left with absolutely nothing. And that's the case for most of these boxes, but getting one card and needing to hit on that one card.
It's a big slot machine.
Yeah. So I think good is maybe pushing it, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, the cards are pretty
true.
high standard. I mean, the cards look amazing.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't place it in poor with the other products.
Now I'm going to go on to the next one, and I'm going to put Contenders Optic and Awesome, which is at least a step up from the normal Contenders. Yeah. They feel much better. The quality seems to be much better. The cards overall look much better. They seem to be grading well overall if you look at previous years as well. Yeah. I think this is a beautiful product. Many people will have this in Elite, but given the base cards, it's really a knock for me. You get 6 cards in one hobby box this year.
And they don't have blasters or...
No, I don't think they do. Contenders Optic is a good card, are good cards to chase, but not in my Elite tier.
I get it. I see where you're coming from. Alright, Elements up next. And I'll place them maybe a bit controversial as well in hot trash. I don't like metal cards. You don't want to collect metal cards.
No,
you don't want it. You don't want metal cards. They grade poorly. They're pretty expensive, and they're metal cards. I mean, every card is made of cardboard. And then you have you know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but the most expensive cards in basketball are the rare metal gems. I think that's what they're called, which is a set that is really, really expensive. Again, this is obviously not this is not a comparison. I think hot trash is a little bit too strict, also because I think they have on-card autos as well, which immediately makes a product better. But
do you know anybody who collects Element?
Right. No, you know? You're right. Okay, fair enough. All right, for the next one, I'm really on the fence between good and poor. I'm gonna put it in poor. Yeah. The list is growing for the very simple reason that what you mentioned before is that just they don't grade well. They're not really that desirable. People don't really collect them. The reason for me to put it in good tier, it's one of the first products with pro unis, which makes them at the very least in the beginning quite desirable. People want those cards.
Good tier?
I think the arguments against the arguments for putting them in poor outweigh the arguments for putting them in good. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Overall, if you do decide to get gold standard, it's not the worst. So these tiers, even within these tiers, they are not created equal. But if you can choose, also stay away from anything below good. So that includes gold standard.
Yeah, definitely. They only come in hobby boxes. Big hit or miss. 7 cards, $500. I mean, for sticker autos.
No, you're right.
All right. Next up, Panini Black, which is, in my opinion, a good tier product. I like the black color on the cards. I like the more dark theme. They have several inserts, regulators, white knights, 5 cards per box. They only come in hobby boxes, so that's why I'm not putting them in the awesome tier. They grade not that well. I don't see many PSA 10s, PSA 9s of Panini Black.
Nah, that's also because of the thickness of the cards.
More thicker cards, but once again, Origins has better art, so that's why I'm placing a tier below Origins.
All right, I agree. Next one, I'm gonna grab Encased, and I'm gonna put it in the good tier. Encased makes me think of Panini 1.
Yep.
You're guaranteed one graded card, I believe by BGS, but it doesn't have the subgrades, which makes it a little bit less desirable, but you have an opportunity to get a huge hit that has already been graded for you. And if you get hit that 9.5, you're going to be really happy because you know the quality of the card that you get. It's not quite awesome, but it's not poor. So Encased is really expensive though, so that would be a knock on it. Yeah. But overall, if you get an Encased card, you can be quite happy.
Yeah, agreed. All right, next up, Optic. That's it. Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Optic. I mean, the rated rookies looks awesome. I made a case before when I put Donruss in hard trash. Optic is the better sibling of Donruss. You know, they look more premium, they feel more premium, they grade awesome. I mean,
yeah, the
Optic is...
The rated rookies are cards that everybody chases. They are one of the staples in the collecting, in the hobby, in the collecting community. I do have to admit that even though they aren't out yet, I've seen some previews. I'm not the biggest fan of this year's rated rookie cards in comparison to all the previous years, but you know.
I want to see you when you pull the Optic downtown.
The Optic downtown. Yeah, then I'll be running around the streets naked. All right. So next up, select. I think this is an easy one. Elite. It used to be one of the premier products, but because of overprinting the last few years, it's become more mid-end than high-end. But I still really love it. People still collect it. The field levels are amazing. Zebra tie-dyes. XRC Redemptions. Yes, absolutely. Those are only in hobby. But Cosmic was one of my favorite.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that the product is a bit watered down, as you mentioned, but still elite tier in my opinion.
Yeah, easily.
All right, I will go for Immaculate, and I'll place Immaculate in elite. The cards are pretty desired. I mean, if you look at the nameplate, nobility, signatures, I mean, the cards look awesome. But it comes at a premium price of $2,500 for 6 cards.
Yeah, so you're expecting something. So this is part of, I would say, the big four in terms of pricing, together with Flawless, National Treasures, and Impeccable to an extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's an easy argument to make.
Yeah, we show you some cards right now of how Immaculate looks like, and you see what we
mean. Next on the list is Chronicles, one of the first products we opened together. I think we opened about 10 boxes, blaster boxes. I really like Chronicles, but if you're chasing this card or looking to invest or even, building a collection, then Chronicles is not the way to go. It's just a very fun rip. That's why I put it in poor and not in hot trash. It's relatively cheap. You can get good cards. Black Prisms are really fun. People like the Gridiron Kings. Yeah, overall it's mostly a fun rip, and that's why it made poor and not hot trash, because there's really nothing of value other than that.
All right, I agree. Zenith. I place Zenith in good. All right. Zenith is an awesome looking product. You don't agree? All right.
No,
let me elaborate. All right. Zenith has some awesome cards like Ariel, Rookie Rising Redux, and Artist Proof. It only comes in hobby boxes, which is a knock on this product. In a hobby box, you receive 6 cards for around $400-500. So it's quite expensive. You don't see a lot of graded Zenith cards.
Which is why you put it in good, I suppose.
Yeah, and not in awesome. I mean, those are the 2 knocks. They don't grade well, and rather expensive.
Yeah, and for so few cards.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna steal your thunder, and I'm going to take National Treasures, and I'm gonna put that in the elite tier. Yeah, if you've been in this hobby, even if just for a little while, you've probably heard of National Treasures. It's one of the most sought after boxes, cards. Again, they don't grade typically well because they are much thicker cards, but the on-card autos, the beautiful patches, yeah, it's just fantastic. It's just a beautiful product.
Beautiful, but quite expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
Very expensive.
It's not quite Flawless, but Flawless has, I didn't mention that before, Flawless has, everything is numbered to 25 or less. That is not the case for National Treasures.
No.
So Flawless is a little bit more exclusive, but it's also much more expensive. So everything at its price.
Yeah. Same goes for Impeccable. Also a rather expensive product, but I really like, and this is a metal card which I like. This is a metal card which could contain a silver or gold bar. I mean,
Yeah, those.
I mean,
if you pull those, you're gonna be really happy.
you're really happy. What's not to love about a metal card with a gold or silver bar in it? The rest of the cards are nice as well, but those are the big chasers. They come in hobby boxes, $2,500, rather expensive. If I have to choose between Impeccable and National Treasures,
I put National Treasure.
yeah, for sure,
Easily.
easily.
Out of the top four, so Immaculate, Flawless, National Treasures, and Impeccable, I'd probably rate them Flawless, National Treasures, Immaculate, and then Impeccable.
Agree.
But all of them are fantastic. So we've reached the end of our tier list, and as you can see, there's quite, well, I want to say big divide, but looking at it again, maybe not such a big divide. We have many products in Elite. These are the consensus, top products that people are chasing, that people are getting graded. Usually the more expensive products. Awesome is knocking on the door, just fantastic art mostly, or they grade really well or have a very good price quality balance, if you will. The good products are the ones that are a little bit more exclusive but don't necessarily grade so well, but people still like them. And then it's just, after that, just falls off a cliff. Try not to chase these products here. Stay away from poor, and definitely stay away from hot trash. Obviously, this is a little bit personal and a little bit biased, but this is how we feel and how a lot of the community feel about these cards. Thank you guys for watching. We have left the link to the tier maker in the description, so if you want to make your own tier list and share it with us on our socials, on Instagram or on our YouTube channel, please do so, and as always, see you next time.